Hi everybody, I'm Organic Sister and I want to welcome you to my channel. Thank you for coming by. I just want to talk to you guys real quick about a topic that I think is very interesting and doesn't really get talked about that much. And I feel like it's something that, we should probably do something about that. So the topic I want to bring up right now is mental health in the Black community. Yeah. The reason why I want to talk about this is because nobody ever does. I'm like, somebody's got to talk about it, right? Kind of bring it up. We need to start conversations about this stuff because it's like the problem about mental health in the Black community is that it's not addressed. It's not even acknowledged as such. I know a lot of people, they tend to hear things like, "Oh, you feeling depressed? You feel lonely? Maybe you should talk to the pastor, pray it away," or or if they know somebody who does have a mental illness who's been acting out. Oh, little Ray, he crazy. That girl Sheila down the street. She ain't right in the head, right? She crazy. That's the thing. There are these stigmas surrounding mental health that make it so that people don't want to talk about it. And even like I've had conversations with people, and a lot of people, like especially men, they feel like if they talk about feeling depressed or feeling down or something like that, it makes them come out like they're soft or something, or like they're weak or something, and because there's all these societal pressures around that as well. So I mean, a lot of that can be stressful too, and it's hard because we are seen as people who are supposed to be resilient and strong, which we are. We are resilient and we are strong. Like, damn it, we've been through a lot and we're still here, we're still standing. So yes, we are resilient and we are strong, but it's like we are also humans too, and we go through a lot of emotions and stuff like that. And everybody has days and has moments when they feel like not right or whatever. They feel like like something, like they don't feel like themselves, but who can they talk to? You go to your family, they shun you, they make you feel like an outcast. You're crazy. You go to your friends, they might clown you, you're soft, or get over it. Like you can just brush it off. You're depressed and you haven't felt like you can get out of bed and for like 3 days, and they tell you, oh, come on, cut it out. Like, what do you do? Like, just get over it and get up. Like, come on. You see what I'm saying? When it's really not that easy. And certain things like depression and anxiety, some people even acknowledge that as mental illnesses, but they are. When people hear mental illness, they think of somebody who is like mentally challenged, or somebody who's like a schizophrenia or whatever. We see like on TV, people who have mental illnesses, they tend to be like these violent criminals and stuff like that. That's TV in Hollywood. They throw that in there to make it interesting. I mean, yes, it happens, but that's not necessarily the case. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that it's just a sad thing because mental health in the Black community does not get acknowledged. And because it doesn't get acknowledged, it doesn't get treated. It doesn't get diagnosed and doesn't get treated. And I think that's really, really sad because now you have people who have these mental issues that are going unchecked. And a lot of these problems, they start to manifest themselves when the person's like in their 20s, I believe. So they start to manifest themselves around, in the person's 20s, and now they start, feeling certain ways, or they're acting certain ways, whatever. And now, certain like friends, they don't know what's up with this person. They think that something's wrong with this person. Maybe he's on drugs, he's on something, or maybe he's on this, he's doing this or whatever. And they feel like, they start to like distance themselves away from their friends and situation. And it could be sad, it could be lonely. That's another thing too. Loneliness is a big contributing factor to all this. A lot of people have reported that they feel alone and they feel like they have nobody to talk to. These types of things, they affect people of all ages. Like you could be, I would say maybe like, during like, it probably starts off around like adolescence, you have the pressure to fit in with your friends, your hormones are changing, your body is changing, your hormones are kicking in, and all these things are happening and you don't know what to do. That could be pretty stressful. And with the whole thing with online and cyberbullying, and that's another thing that leads kids to actually take their own lives. That's mental health, that's mental illness right there. That's like leading up to those moments, and like all that stuff goes unchecked. And then you also have, when you get older, you're in college, and you have all these stresses to do good in school. You have all these stresses to fit in the real world, find a career, what you want to do, what you gonna, and you feel like, especially when you look and your friends seem to be like working towards their goals, and you feel like, okay, what am I doing with my life? You're only in college in your 20s, and like in your early 20s. It's like, okay, you see what I'm saying? But like, in the moment, it could be stressful. And then, just like even beyond that, going, past that, moving forward in life, you could be like in your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s, or whatever age, and you could still feel depressed. You could still feel anxiety, anxious about something. You could still have some type of mental illness that can go unchecked just because you are afraid to talk about it, and it's actually pretty sad. So this is why I want to talk about it right now. My question here is now is like, where are the resources? We have, you know how hard it is for a person of color to go and find a counselor that is also of color that can actually understand what they're going through? Because people of color, I feel like, not to like, well, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but not to like, I guess, diminish or to lessen the degree of other people with their mental illnesses and stuff. But I mean, like, people of color, we have the normal stresses of life that we're dealing with. Plus, we're also dealing with living in a country that doesn't really like us very much. We're getting chased by the cops. We're getting oppressed by the systems. We're getting, we're just getting it from all angles and stuff. You see what I'm saying? So, and then on top of that, we don't have people that we can feel that we can talk to about this stuff, who can actually relate and understand and give us some professional advice. And I feel like that's really unfortunate. And then you hear about these cases. I remember a couple of years ago, two very disturbing cases I remember hearing about. There was this one guy who, I guess, he saw some girl that he liked and he wanted her to give him a kiss. He points a gun to her face and says, "Give me a kiss." When she says no, he shot her in the face, and that was the end of her life. And then it was known later that he had mental illness. He was a man of color, a black man. He had a mental illness and he didn't take his medication, and that's what happened. He wasn't taking his medications, and that's what happened. That was really unfortunate. Another case I heard a couple of years ago happened in Brockton, Massachusetts, and the first one was in Atlantic City, New Jersey, by the way. But this one here happened in Brockton, Massachusetts, and it was a Haitian guy, and he had a mental illness. He wasn't taking his medications. And he ended up killing his sister, his two sisters. He attacked three of his sisters. Two of them died. One of them that passed away was celebrating her 5th birthday that day. Like, that was her birthday and her birthday party. And then he ended up killing himself in front of his entire family, in front of his mom, and eventually in front of the cops. And that was like a tragic situation. And I mean, these type of things you don't see the stuff like broadcasted on the news. You don't see it broadcasted anyway. People don't really talk about it like that. And if they do, it's like, okay, it happened, and okay, now it's over. They don't want to acknowledge that people of color or that black people have mental illnesses. They don't want to acknowledge that people of color have mental illnesses. They don't want to acknowledge that this is the reason why they're doing it, because they want to see us as thugs and rapists and terrorists and all kinds of crappy stuff that that's been going around in the news these days. But what I'm saying is that we are people, and that we deserve to have some type of mental health care, system intact for us. Like, you go into communities, you can go into communities, and you can't even find that many mental health cares, that people, like therapists, that you can talk to. And if you do, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. And sometimes you might find one that your insurance doesn't want to cover. It's like, what's up with that? What's up with that? It's like they don't make it easy. It's not easily accessible for people of color, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. No, it's definitely not. What I'm trying to say is that mental health in the black community is something that we need to start more conversations about. And I know there's a lot of people that deal with it, and they kind of just like suffer in silence. They suffer alone and they suffer in silence. And that's not helping anything. Like, it doesn't help. And I just think it's like, I don't know, what do you think that we can do to help this type of thing? Like, what do we do? What do we do? I have no idea. One thing I know that I can do is I can at least start talking about it, bring about awareness, and have conversations about it. Yeah, I just hope that's what I hope to do. You know what's interesting though? Mental illness, mental health, all this stuff, whatever. Like I said, it doesn't really get talked about. People just kind of like suffer in silence, suffer alone. A lot of people that I know have gone through situations where they needed to talk to somebody. A lot of people that I know have either spoken to a counselor or needs to. Life sucks sometimes. I don't know any better way to put it. Life can really be a doozy. It can really, really suck sometimes. And it just helps just have somebody to talk to, talk to somebody. And one tip that I can give you guys, I can say, is to check in on yourself. And, to check in on yourself every now and then. Sit here and think about how you're doing. Let's do this right now. All right, let's everybody. We can all sit here. Let's do it right over now. Right now. Let's relax. Just take a deep breath. Close your eyes, and just ask yourself, how am I feeling? How are you feeling right now? Right now, I feel relaxed. I feel content. I feel excited. I do feel that right now. In this moment. And then, yes, I do feel the stresses of everyday life. But what I'm trying to feel right now, feel happy. Feel good. Thank you. Yeah. All right, see you later. Bye. Deuces.
Any night, any day, let me take you away. All I need is you saying yeah, yeah. Better nights, better days, when you're here with me, babe. Cause you're all I crave, so I wonder, where are you, baby? Don't hide away from me when I need you most. We got love guaranteed, and I have to know, say, don't be so hard to reach. Just pick up your phone, tell me where you'll be, cause I gotta know.